Even if there's a ton of evidence to prove otherwise, I'm staying neutral on everything and we'll see where everything lands. I don't know if they're being fully honest in public anyway with who or what they are, who's bought off, who's not. So I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater on some people if they have a lot of good info, but some of it's BS. I'm still going to listen. But a lot of the celebrities, like J-Lo and other people, what I read on them, I get not a real souled person is the phrase that comes into my head. Soul, S-O-U-L, not a real souled person or a plant or non-souled. And I'm getting that on a lot of the people out there right now in the truther movement. And so I'm not going to name names. So you really have to look at the message. But to be honest, okay, so somebody told me I need to start telling it more like it is. To be honest, if they're getting it through channeling entities, I don't want to hear it. I mean, I just don't want to hear it. So if they're doing any kind of channeling and that's how they get the basis of their information, just don't send it to me or don't. There's a million other places online you can go talk about channeled stuff. It gets all the support in the world. And these books that are channeled and all that. And I'm a very small fringe portion that chooses to say, I'm sorry, I'm not listening to channeled stuff. I think it's manipulated, highly manipulated, heavily manipulated. So don't share it with me. It's getting shared everywhere else. So don't share it with me. My stuff's not getting shared everywhere. Not that I really want to be in the public eye that much, but I am. I'm forcing myself to do it. I'm an extreme introvert and a hermit. So there's a couple people I did read on for my own self, and I'm like, ugh, non-sold. But so let's see what we've got here. Let's just jump around, try to fill it in here since I don't have Irish Eyes yet. Hopefully she will come on in the next few days. I don't know. I don't know what I screwed up, but I've been noticing like things changing and having weird thoughts about something. So one of you in Telegram shared a movie from 2003. I don't remember the name, but I'm going to try to remember to put the link in here. And it talks about how they are hooking into our brain circuits and they know how to read our brain, which of course we all believe that. But in the movie, they do it like literally in the 3D way where this guy is married and they share this apartment. The wife's in on everything, but you don't know that at first. And he has the voice to Skull Tech. They're talking in his head, telling him to shoot his wife. So he does, but the gun is, I don't know if the gun's not loaded or what. So anyway, he is unconscious. When he comes to, he's in bed with her again. And she's like, pretending like he's got some kind of PTSD and all this other stuff from some other incident. Like nothing happened. You didn't try to shoot me, nothing. And he's like having the memories, like, I know something's not right here. And then when he finally wakes up too much and they can't keep him, doubting what he knows or what he's sensing, then they just like, okay, fine. Then they're like disassembling the whole room and the whole apartment and everything. Like, okay, he's already in on it. We don't have to keep up the pretense anymore. So I'm wondering if that's actually happening to us. Are they actually doing a physical redo of our environment? So I guess what I'm talking about is like when Nigel said he was, and I'm probably not going to get his story right, but he was putting the OJ in the fridge and the milk and whatever, and he had that weird experience where it's like, I know I did this, but it's still there. So what's going on here? And I've had those experiences where I know I've gone down to my mailbox, gotten the check out, cashed it at the bank, And then somebody asked me if I got the check. I'm like, yeah, I got the check. And it's like, no, it's right here. Here's the check. And so I think a lot of us are having those experiences, but I would think it would be easy, very easy for them to reset our daily reality without having a crew come in and disassemble the set and all that, like happened to this guy in the movie. If this is a virtual reality, they just have to reset the virtual, it's like not that hard to do, just like you reset the video game when you lose and you come back in and then here it is again. Um, and that tiger that you killed is alive again. And, so all the stuff they talk about with the environment and we're destroying the environment and the animals are going extinct. But if it's a virtual or they have the DNA, they just bring all that back. It's not like it's, um, so that's if you agree with me that this is all just a simulation type thing, a mind program hypnosis. All right. So I kind of feel like I'm wondering if those experiences are happening more and more, and we're doing stuff and we don't remember, and then they're resetting us. That's kind of a disturbing thought, but I think the more we're awake, the less they're able to do that. Like with that guy, they just gave up on him. So something else interesting in that movie, it was not well done, but very, very interesting information is they took like his brain waves or thoughts or whatever, and they I wasn't know if I was watching it that close, but they tapped it into somebody else. And so they like connected their brain waves, thoughts together, all that. So they were actually taking on the personality, the emotions, and everything of this other person. And I wonder if they do that to us also, as well as, mind wiping us, getting in there and actually interfering with our thoughts. Just, that movie is a great example. They even talked about using the cell towers to do it. Although I think the cell towers have to do with something else. It's a distraction because I think a lot of this stuff is not necessarily happening right here. It's actually happening to our soul or our light body, but we're the reflection of that, so we feel the effects. Um, but I thought that was an interesting thought when you start to get those emotions that aren't yours. It's like, what am I thinking or feeling, or this is not me, or there's no rational explanation why I'm depressed. Um, you may be linked into somebody else's mind. Um, and then all their data is going over to you, all their emotions, all their stuff. So something kind of disturbing to think about, but I do think all that stuff goes on. They're just covering it up better. That movie, it was kind of obvious. They also did the swarm thing, which I thought was super interesting in that movie. It's like 2003, which is the most recent Matrix movie that came out, had this in there where they have the zombies walking around, or the swarm, I think they called it in the Matrix, and they can jump into their brains and activate them at any time. So that's like the sleeper agents, basically, what all of us have been talking about forever. So in that movie, it's like he's out in the street and people walking down the street start talking. They're talking through these people and they're watching him through these people. Just interesting because it's really, a lot of these shows or movies or stuff are documentaries. But it kind of feels like there's a timing because I told you I get led to things like, okay, go watch that right now or whatever. It felt like there was a timing to me watching that because it does feel like that's the next layer or overlay or mind program they're doing to us right now, or they've amped it up. And that is not only linking us in with other people, because this has been going on, but wiping more experiences that we're having, or like doing mini resets in our daily life, in addition to the main big reset of the whole game that comes every age. By the way, I do want to mention this. So those of you that I know, a lot of you out there, like my message is hard to swallow, um, or accept because we're so tired and we're so worn out with how difficult everything is. I mean, I sit here right now and I'm smiling for you, but I'm in agonizing pain. I've got my problems. Um, and by the way, I did read on that part too, but it's like we just want a solution already, or we just want it done, or we want things to get better. So we're willing to listen to people that are channeling entities that we know nothing about and taking their word for it. Entities I know that have been full of SHIT for many, many years. Decades, in fact. I've given decades of my life to this crap, and I'm not going to entertain it anymore. But their messages are great. They always sound great. And sometimes some of the stuff they say happens, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, it's just steering you in wrong directions or giving you a dose of what do you call it? I don't know, because I know what I want to say, endorphins or happy juice or something. But I mean, literally, like it was back in the 90s, early 90s, I think, that I was listening to Al Gore's BS about the inconvenient truth and how the environment, we had 10 years left, blah, blah, blah. And then you hear about we're going to 5D, I mean, this is nothing that's just come up in the last 5, 10 years. This has been being said uh as long as I've been around, because I've also been reading the books and stuff earlier than the 90s. So I've been into this the late 70s and 80s. So it's all been said over and over, and they're just trying to get us predictive programming to make it happen. Um, so if somebody's talking about, like I just heard somebody talk about, this just annoys the shit out of me. Sorry, I'm cussing now. He said uh, that 51, you had to be giving 51%. Of course, I was like really on it yesterday. And then when I go to do the video, I'm out of it. You had to be 51% service to others in order for you to be allowed to go into the golden age or the 5D or the new whatever. Okay, that's a direct quote from Ashiana Dean. So that person took that information from her, and her stuff's channeled, and this individual channels or supposedly channels. Okay, so I have to do 51% service to others, and then I am allowed to, or have permission to, or deserving to go on this golden age. Okay, who is it again that's giving me permission? I'm a limitless being. I'm an extension of the creator. Who is it again that's giving me permission to go to this spiral, this Christ spiral, or this 5D, or this golden age path? I'm in charge of me. I may be temporarily my consciousness trapped in a mind program, but I'm still in charge of me. There ain't nobody giving me permission. So you got to ask that. It's just same. It's the exact same thing, in fact, as when somebody dies and they say there's all these beings and angels and everything over there that are teaching them stuff. James von Prague, I think, talks about that. And you go to the next level and you learn this stuff. And who are these beings again that are over there teaching? And they're teaching what? Like, who are they? What are they? Oh, they're angels. Oh, okay. And why are they in charge? And why do they get to tell my soul where it gets to go and where it doesn't get to go? And, you got a question. So the big mistake many people are making is they're not acknowledging their own power and who they are. And you just want a quick answer. So you're just willing to go along with anything. And a lot of us need to quit playing the victim, and we need to take charge. I've been talking for a while now about us creating our own reality here, our own timeline. Why would you go on, okay, we've got I told you it's light and dark here, right? It's all darkness, but it's false light and dark, meaning it's all dark. Why would you go to the dark path where it's going to be a shit show? Oh, we'll give you fame and money. Who cares? It's like it's going to be a shit show. Or go to the light at the false light. Because guess what? You start going the golden age. Guess what follows the golden age? The dark ages. So yeah, well, I could just escape. I can be happy for a while. Okay, you're gonna go be happy for a while. But guess what's coming after that? You're going right back to where we are right now, and it's probably going to be worse. And who knows if you'll be able to wake up that time, or if you will be completely disconnected and never be able to get out of here. Who knows? But I don't think that's going to be the case, because I think there's a lot of us here that we call ourselves star seeds, or we call ourselves waves, or this or that. And they've hijacked that and turned it into something else. Oh, you're a star seed, blah, 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 into a program. But honestly, on some level, we know that there's a group of us that came here that we're going to stay awake, and we're going to finish the job here. We're going to shut this shit show down. So in the meantime, we can create our own little happy world. So if we don't get it totally taken down, we can will into existence our own happy version of this. But the problem is there's a lot of our souls that are in those soul groups. I've talked about this. It's in a lot of maybe the essentials playlist. I don't know. It's been a while, but I did it several times, and I talked about the groups of souls where they mind program. We are all one. We are one, like that book of one. We're all one, unity. And then they're all mind programmed to create this world. One of many, by the way. I think one soul can actually power 3 matrices, but so that we all get the same world. They're telling us what's great, and then here it is. That's how it stays the same. And so I think maybe to change things, we need to go to the soul. Now, some of us don't have our soul in those soul groups. I've gone in and done sessions, and sometimes I find your soul somewhere where probably a troublemaker, or you're probably one of the waves. So there's humans here, and then there's humans coming in later, people connected to souls. I just interchanged human with that. Doesn't really matter. And soul, again, that's part of the matrix, but that's a long story. I'm just using terms here. So people connected to the life force are powering the thing. So we have the people that have been here a while, and then we have the waves that are coming in to help. And a lot of those people in the waves have either hidden their souls, or their souls have been captured and being extremely tortured to stop us. And then other people have their souls sucked into these soul groups that keep the world running. So if you're, why would you want to go down one of these paths of the darkness or the false light, when on the other side of it, you're coming back into this again? It's a golden age. Time. Remember, time. Time's in the DNA. What's time? It's part of a false reality, a virtual universe. I also read on targeting, because I've talked about myself being targeted, and I was told that I was targeted before birth from an entity that came in. Now they can lie and stuff, but I've also really looked deep into this, and I get a lot of blowback from doing sessions, and especially if Sam and I, or Sam and myself and someone else, goes in and does some stuff on the world situation or this reality. And recently we went after the black magicians, Sam and I. I'm going to have to filter through the recording, because I don't remember what we did, and try to relay that back to you at some point here. We got some more heavy duty blowback from that. So there is a price to pay when you do a lot of this stuff. But I thought, okay, maybe I'm not targeted. Maybe that's just another lie out there, because there's people that make fun of, oh, you say you're a targeted individual, blah, blah, blah. They don't even understand what the hell we're in. They're thinking, oh, you got the FBI chasing you, which is just one small part of it. It's on many levels, and it's different for each person. But I asked, is targeting people, like being a targeted individual, is that real? And I got what I got by reading on it intuitively was individuals get targeted. I've gotten this before, but we'll say it again. Individuals get targeted based on what they will do in the future that is against the agenda. So if they see you doing things, especially if you're coming here as a wave to try to take this down, but they see you doing things and influencing others and it's against their agenda, they're going to target you. It's pretty obvious. So when I looked at myself, am I targeted? And I got a no, but I was like, am I reading a program right now that's saying no? And I was. Um, and I got very clearly they are hiding the targeting directed at me. So I took that as a yes, I am targeted. But I know I question myself all the time. I don't just spew stuff out here and or talk like a crazy idiot because half this stuff is crazy. It's like, and well, I don't understand how you go in there and you do work and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like a shaman. When a shaman travels, they're traveling. This is like a huge mind. I look at it as like you're traveling in somebody's mind. When you go in with your intention, you astrally travel, or I stay here and travel, or shamanic traveling, you're shaman. It's like you're traveling in a big brain. I notice when you go after soul pieces, it looks like you're in a brain, kind of like you're going through circuits. And um, so I look at it as it's just like the brain of a computer. It's a brain of this AI, whatever. So you don't go with your body, you go with your mind. It's a mind program. That's why stuff can get done. And that's why when you use your willpower and you remember your own power, you get stuff done. You don't get permission. Put yourself in charge. You are in charge. You just forgot. They've made you forget. They've made you doubt. So if it's a virtual reality, that's how, does that explain it for you? I mean, it's like, it's easy. Once you start realizing what this world is, it's very easy to, oh, now I get why that can happen and why science is saying that, because it just doesn't make any sense. But if I thought this was a virtual reality, oh, it totally fits now. All right, what do I got here? So these two paths that this one person was talking about and talks with a very hypnotic voice and this kind of thing, and it just is annoying to me because of the stuff this person is saying. But I get both those paths. Both realities are not good. You're going to the golden age, yeah, because they want to calm you down for a little while. They want you to make you believe this whole thing is wonderful. Remember the end of the Matrix movie, the trilogy, the last one, and you have the Oracle and the little girl there, and everything's wonderful. They want you, it's a new day. Look at the sun coming up. It's beautiful. It's a restart. Everything's wonderful. You don't want to leave here. You want to forget all about that you were in a bad place. Because somebody was talking about there that the bad memories are getting, was that on the Yellow Rose of Texas or something? Bad memories are getting erased, or they'll be erased when we get into that new reality. Well, yeah, of course they will. They don't want you to remember any of the bad stuff because they know it was getting to you and you were starting to wake up and you're ready to get out. So they're going to put you back to sleep with the happy, beautiful, golden age. And both realities are bad. And who knows how long that lasts? It could be 5 minutes and they make you think you've been in there 1,000 years. I really don't think. Now, there could be a third faction. I've talked about this. There could be a third faction that's trying to lead us to another timeline that would be better for us. And we can also create our own because we're outside their grasp right now. They're looping us because they missed their reset time for the whatever it was. I think there's resets inside of these big resets. So they missed something. So it's a golden, excuse the pun, golden opportunity for us to make our own reality. But I really don't think that path whether it's the Christ spiral, you've heard that Khryste, Christ spiral, the golden age, the 5D, whatever you want to put in there, which is basically the harvest. They're just harvesting all of us, and bumping us into the next virtual, basically. But I really don't think that's going to take us to the real world. So we're in a mind program, but we are still in the real. It's where we really are. And I think a lot of us think this path is going to get us there. It's going to get us out of here and get us back to where we really are. It's just a piece of our consciousness in this thing. So I don't think that's where it's taken us. But I do think, and I've talked about it many, 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 many times to some of you that have been with me for a while are probably nauseated from hearing me talk about it, how to get out of here when you die, and what to do. And that will get you back to the real world. When I read in depth on it, I don't feel like we can sense or see or access the real world where we really are while we're in this. It's like when you're in a cave, you can't see through the walls to see what's out there. You're just, all you know is the cave. So that's what this is like. But I know it's there. I know we're not really here. We're just appearing to be here. So try to remember that. And don't go down these, who are these entities taking you down there? Who created these pathways? Who is it that's giving you permission again? Which one you can take? Start asking some logical questions here. And if you don't even know anything about, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I obviously came right here for a reason. I absolutely refuse to go anywhere. And I hope some of you join me so we can break these souls and their influence that are being used to push us on these things. And some of those are Black magicians, and some of them are in the soul groups, and some of them are just people that are tired and they just want to believe. And it's like, oh my God, that's not what you're here to do. It's not the time to get lazy. I know it's hard. My life has sucked. I'm probably having my best life right now out of my entire life. And it's okay. I mean, I've given up everything for this path. I'm sitting here with nothing, no kids, no husband, health declining, everything. I don't have anything to show for anything. So it doesn't matter though. Doesn't mean that it's not ever going to get better for us. I think it's slowly getting better. The more that we keep insisting, I'm sensing it getting slowly better. Like I said, I'm better now than I've ever been, but we got to do this. We got to finish the job. All right. The whole thing, somebody's talking about we're going from carbon. I think it's the same person, and it's probably Ashiana too. I don't know who's all talking about this. We're going from carbon to crystal bodies. I think that's what they're doing with that thing that we were kind of forced to get that I can't talk about on here because I've already have strikes. But and they're talking about us, something about fourth going to fifth. I don't know. We're already in the fourth. We're not going from third to fifth. We're already in the fourth. I think that. You could argue with me if you want. Tell me something different. Tell me how I'm getting it wrong. I get a sense that maybe a crystal body is what we really are, or it's something likened to that. And that's why it resonates, but that's not where they're taking us. That path to the golden age or 5D, that ain't where they're taking us. We're still in their grasp. So we're going to go to another level of this, possibly fourth dimension. Maybe we stay stuck in fourth. I don't know. Whatever this is, we're in this section of hell, HEL. They're going to just take us to another level of it where we cool off for a while. So let's go to the 5, followed by the letter G, even though I've already said it once. Is it getting turned up more? I forgot that I read on this a long time ago. I don't want to say a long time ago. It seems like a long time ago. This is July of 2022. I believe it was late summer or fall of 2021 that I looked at this, and I saw that they had turned it up. So if they turn it up to 60, I can't talk with this retainer, and sorry, if they turn it up to 60 gigahertz, we fry. And at that time, I believe, if anybody remembers, I don't want to have to go back and try to find what I read on. I thought it had gotten to 15 gigahertz. And by the end of that year, 2021, by December and into January, it was going to go up to 20 gigahertz. I'm thinking it's at 30 right now. So we're at 30 gigahertz. This could be why we're feeling worse. I also am wondering if, because that stuff takes a lot of energy to run. So is all the extra energy that's going into running that 5 followed by that letter, is that what's draining the grid? Who knows? I think it's contributing to what's draining the grid and why they're saying, oh, you need to back off right now, because they're turning the dial up on that. So that's what I think they decided a long time, they're going to slowly keep turning it up increments so we don't notice. And I think we're at 30 right now, which is halfway to frying. It's no wonder we all feel terrible, but there's more going on than just that. According to some people, that 5 followed by that letter makes you more tired, headaches, sleep disturbances. We just need to say no. We change this reality by denying our permission. We change this reality by denying our permission. Not by saying, okay, or I wish it would do this. I want it to do this. Or, oh, well, this sounds bad. No, I don't allow it. And this is what I am going to allow. Somebody asked me this, can NPCs see in crystals? So they were looking at crystals and scrying, or whatever you want to call it. And I think they can. This person believed that the NPCs couldn't. I think they can. I think that I've mentioned this before. I think it was a couple of years ago, a video I did, crystals are spying on us. Doesn't mean that crystals are spying on us. It's just that they can hijack crystals. I think crystals are good, but they can get hijacked just like a phone line can get tapped or whatever. And if you're aware that it can be done, you just don't allow it, and you communicate with your crystal. I don't have any sitting here because I'm in my dining room, but you just tell it, I'm gonna do up there on the thing. You just tell it what you want it to do, what you need from it. Also, with permissions, you have no use. Who was I talking about this? But you have no use to use my phone for your own purposes, or my address, my physical address, my bank account numbers, anything else, even though you have the information and I've signed on dotted lines, you sign your phone contract or whatever, you do not have permission to use it for your purposes. And that reminds me of when somebody said there's like a crystal inside our phones. So you can, if that's true, you could talk to that crystal and program it for what to block and what to accept. This is what you do with the information. You make your decision. It's a video game. You're making choices, and I'm choosing no. And I'm willing a no to that. I do not give you permission. I'm in charge. So it's the same thing as your computer. Like your computer might say, do you want to turn on or off? You want to do power? Do you want to put the computer to sleep? And you say, no, I don't give my permission for it to turn off. I just want to put it to sleep. You are making the choices. but they want you to think that they are in charge. There's another video somebody shared. I'm going to try to find, it's hard to link stuff when it's in Telegram, but I was thinking about stuff and I'm like, the green screen and all that. And I've been doing videos about the green sky. And I was like, I'm going to walk out there and I'm just going to ask, what am I really seeing? And so I had planned a couple moments of my day because you know how your day is just we're all just like constantly stuff. It's like it's right and left. I have to fight to get this time just to sit here and do this. So I'm like, okay, it's blue sky out there, and for once I don't see that film of the white film over the blue sky, and then there's clouds in front of it, and that film is just like this mist. It's like a mist of what the trail that those plural trail that happen in the sky. I'm not supposed to say that word, I don't think. But so it's actually, I think I was seeing pretty close to the sky. There was still some stuff in front of it, but I thought I'm going to go out there and just say, what am I really seeing here? Show me what's there. Show me right now. And as soon as I walked out, the guy next door walked out with a cigarette, and I was like, okay, guess I'm going back inside. And then somebody posted a video about the grid in the sky right after that. It's a really great video, because I think they're on to a lot of the stuff that we're talking about on this channel, which I was very surprised because usually you get the watered down BS version of stuff, but they were really cutting through to the heart of stuff. And it was like, oh, wow, they're really getting it. There was a few things, and again, I don't want to talk bad about people, but there was a few things they said on there. So the first part's good, and then they start talking about so and so has said this and so said this, and I was like, I don't agree with all that stuff. But most of that video is great. So if you get on, if you're on Telegram and you haven't seen it, ask one of us on there. Maybe one of us can link it again because it gets lost in the feed. It's a great video. And those trails, that I was talking about might be blocking the grid from showing because maybe something's changed and it's starting to become more apparent, or maybe we're making cracks in this, or we're too awake, or maybe they're doing something where they're going to do a big reveal when the trail's clear. It could be blocking warfare going on up there. I don't know. That actually I have my cards. That might be something to read on here. And again, I read a long time ago on this that most, so it's the word most of the truthers out there are plants or disinfo agents or misled. Most they know they're misled, like they know they're putting out crap, or they're misled by channeling. So most is not a good word with that. So I was looking at, is the 616 our original version? And I feel like it is, and that those whats that they were trying to force us to get, some of us had to get, and some of us did not, or refused to get. But those things I think could be turning us to the 666. And maybe the original version or the prior version of us was 616. And I'm wondering, yeah, let me check this here. For a program, it is they're trying to program. Okay, so these numbers are just different codes or different what do you call it when you we've had barcodes on our light bodies, so we're just cattle, or it's a soul market here. So these numbers are just we're inventory. So the versions of ourself that are in this virtual have this number, and then as we get wormhole to the next virtual, so the one we're currently in, we're 616, and then they're going to take us to 666 in the next one. That's what I think. And that thing that I talked about that we're not allowed to talk about has been instrumental in turning us into the 666 body, but they're also using other methods on those of us that are stubborn. So it is something you have to check regularly because it's destroying your aura. And I just saw something posted about how it's good not to have an aura because then you don't get sucked down the tunnel of light when you die. And I think the opposite's true. But anyway, I really don't feel like a lot of what they do is sophisticated. It just seems like it is. I feel like they use the same old on us, age after age, reset after reset. It's the same tech, the same things, and they're very simplistic. I've always believed that everything is magnetics here, including gravity. It's just magnets. I swear my lighting just changed color, but maybe it's me. That is weird. It there's other things going on too, but I feel like that's a big part of it. So a lot of their tech uses magnets. So what can be seen as miraculous is just magnetic stuff. I mean, it's just stupid. It's all stupid.